This episode is brought to you by Sortly. If you're growing your interior design business, then you know tracking inventory across projects, warehouses, and team members can slow you down. That's where Sortly comes in.
Sortly helps you manage furniture, decor, and materials effortlessly from any device, anywhere. Simplify your installs with barcode scanning and real-time updates, making it easy to export details for client proposals.
Sortly is the mobile inventory solution that your team will actually use, so you can stop losing time and money on messy spreadsheets and outdated systems.
Hot Young Designers Club listeners get 50% off their first year, plus a free 14-day trial. Sign up today at sortly.com/HYDC.
That's sortly.com/HYDC.
Hey, hotties. We are really excited for you to hear this episode today because Danielle is just the best.
Danielle kind of like blew my mind when we were coming back from High Point last fall. We shared a car to the airport and we did not shut up the entire ride from High Point to Charlotte, which is like an hour and a half.
Yeah, because she is doing some big shit, but she's still like super relatable, down to earth. She's still in it with us. Like, yeah, there's so much to learn from her, but also share. And she has like a big heart. So
yeah.
Definitely excited for you to hear this.
Yes. And we are just like hot off the tails. Literally yesterday, I flew home from Sacramento after spending a weekend with Rebecca and our friend Claire.
Right. It was so hot.
It was 100 degrees. Yes, it was a hot weekend, but it was a nice summer weekend and a chance for us to connect even like on our businesses, our goals, and like, you know, we don't shut up the whole time we're together either. So
I know. And I think I forget that we don't see each other very much. Like
in person.
Yeah. Like actually. Because we see each other a lot, like at least multiple times a week. And
I know.
But we only actually like are in person together maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah. And I was weird. One of those things that was really weird is like I hopped in your car and I'm like, your face looks so skinny. And like, just FYI, Rebecca has been working on her fitness and like getting like doing that.
Have.
And then right. And the last time you saw me in the fall at market, I was 30 pounds heavier. So
same.
I've also been working on my wellness and like paying attention to
you got that single girl lifestyle you gotta maintain.
Look, okay, I'm jokingly telling this to our hotties. I've been like, now I guess I turned 40 and I'm in my daddy era. So, you know, I don't need 100% dad bod. So I want to feel good and have more energy. And I think we've both been focusing on how are we doing this? I think when we're talking to Danielle and we're talking about how she's organizing her business to work for her better, and you and I are doing the same thing. It's just like, there's a lot of culmination of that happening. That might just be my read on a lot of it, but I hope the hotties are picking up on how we're building back into ourselves to get out things we want.
Yeah. And it just takes time and like you have to just kind of be in the right headspace to make certain changes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we got to so maybe you guys will care about this. Probably not. But yesterday we got to do a new photo shoot, kind of a brand shoot, which we have not done in 4 years, like in kind of a more studio space.
Yeah, we have not.
So all of our social media shit has looked exactly the same for 4 or 5 years.
So if you're looking for encouragement, you don't need to have a scheduled photo shoot, but like have maybe somebody who you know and trust go to be around your office space or do some stuff with you and like take pictures of you in them, not selfies, not first person photos. Like a couple pictures of yourself is really helpful. They go a long way. And
a lot of times I find like I stop posting on Instagram because I'm sick of all of my same shit.
Yes.
And like, yes, only we are as sick of seeing things as anyone. Like most people don't notice or care, but it is fun and it's like a reinvigorating when you have fresh content and you can create it. Even if you don't have projects complete, you can find ways to just like get a little shoot. So I don't know. I'm excited to use some of those photos. And
I think it's going to be really
everyone
fun.
Can benefit.
And yeah, and maybe we'll give you guys some ideas when you start seeing those too. So see them soon.
Yeah. So, okay. I think on to the show.
Let's get to Danielle. Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young,
but we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club. Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
We have Danielle Chiprut here, our friend of the pod and friend IRL now. She's from Danielle Rose Design Co. And we're so excited to have her. Hi, Danielle.
Welcome. Hello. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. First, seeing that happen live in front of my face was so dreamy. As you said, I've been a long time listener, and it's just been so exciting to get to know you guys in real life and meet you and, be IRL friends.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize you were just telling us that we have a mutual designer friend. You are in New York and we are on the West Coast, and we have a mutual designer friend who we know, Allison. But I didn't realize you knew us before that. So that's so fun.
Yes. Long time ago, I had a designer I looked up to very, very much. Shout out Michelle. She knows who she is. Michelle Gage in Philly. She recommended your podcast back when I was first starting out. And cool. Here we are many years later. When I learned about Allison, knowing you guys personally and like being local, I thought she was just an absolute celebrity.
No.
She is.
It's true.
Thank you for that ego boost.
I know.
I do feel like there was a time like you're describing, like that would have been probably in the first year of the show, like in 2020, right? Yeah. So there was just this.
I'm sorry. That's so embarrassing.
Well, hey, those were the beginning episodes. Yeah. And like thinking about how we were all searching for a sense of community and relation to one another, and just this like unsure time of, well, what are we going to do? Like, what are we all going to do about this? And I think that energy really fed a lot of us for a long time of just, okay, I'm just going to start asking other people because I've never been through this before either. And I think that's a testament to like your growth that you've done since then to really stay focused on your business.
Thank you. And yes, that has been, I think, our key to success. The community, we have never been shy about reaching out to people that we are inspired by or want to know how they got there. You're a few years ahead of me in business. How did you get there? And how did you make it work? And how are you getting home remodels and all the things that at that time, we were all kind of chatting about or wondering about.
Yeah, well, let's go back to your kind of story. Like, how long have you been in business? Where are you? Yeah. What do you mostly serve? Who do you mostly serve?
Sure. So we've been in business for just over 5 years now. So probably started right around when you guys started the podcast. So it's like perfect timing. And so I grew with you guys, which is really fun to see. I started as just me for a really long time. So for about the first 3 years. And then I made my first hire, junior designer named Caitlin, who is incredible. She's still with me. She's been with me for almost 2 years now. And then made my second hire, Kira, who is ops superstar, rock star, handles all things procurement, anything on the operational side. And she's just taking the business she's taking it from a me design baby to a business where we have structure and holding us accountable and goals and all the things. It's really exciting.
Yeah. And like planning out your bandwidth and like getting really organized. Oh, I love that.
You and I spent a week together at Haven in April, and it was so cute because like they did their first install without you during that time. And it was like, you were such like proud mama, but also I could see you have that like kind of control freak about like that kind of stuff like I do.
Yes.
So I was also proud of you for letting that happen and letting them like really take the reins. And that's just so exciting.
Oh my gosh. It was all the things, right? When I realized I was going to be away, clients needed the items in, the date that was going to work out. And I just remember sitting there and being like, you know what? They can do it. They really can. So let's let them shine a little.
I can do this too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it go. That's big.
You'll notice I have a harder time with my own accomplishments, but I love tooting everyone else's horns. But
I mean, letting go and letting other people take the reins of something that you're used to doing, that's a really huge thing. And also, I mean, everyone's in the right spot. Like, you trust them. And
yeah, it's true.
That's that shift to the, like you said, it's a business.
Leader.
It's a we now. And it's not just Danielle who is responsible for that install and has to like suck it up and cancel things to do it. You're like, no. I'm building this so we don't have to just be on me all the time.
It's so true. And just watching that happen and watching them create like the cutest reel, get all the movers into a picture together so that we'd be able to tag our receiving warehouse. Just watching that all happen and getting the updates and hearing the clients come to me afterwards and be like, they were so cute. They did a great job. Like you have great people on your team. That's everything. Then it gives me the space to want to do more and let them have a wider responsibility.
That's such a milestone. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about the leap to getting people, because Rebecca and I have both. We keep talking about this idea and like sometimes we make progress, then we don't. We work with a freelancer, then we don't. We change something. Anyway, the journey goes on. But what was that thing that made you jump to the like, nope, gotta have this other person. I'm going to have to figure out finances or workload, or how did that go?
Oh, it was a long process, obviously. I mean, just like you guys, I think I followed similar paths, honestly. We worked with Design Assisted for a while. They did an incredible job for us. And we started tracking how many hours they used versus how much they cost to do it. And it's a hefty amount, but also they're coming in as experts. So they came in as someone that can help me to figure out what my procurement strategy was. And
like they gave you processes in certain areas.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And when I was starting to use a receiving warehouse and order mainly trade items, like I was relying on them as a baby designer to kind of hold my hand through that process and develop relationships. And they're all stars. And I still, I couldn't recommend them more. Dahlia's a rock star. And she really took good care of us during that process. And then, so that was one part of it. And we continued to work with them after our first hire. So that kind of got us ready to go towards our second hire, which was more ops based. But before that, we also worked with, I'm not technically trained. I came from backgrounds of all shapes and sizes, as did we all, but I needed someone that could do real CAD renderings and own that. And I worked with a freelancer for a while and just thought, you know what, I need someone in-house that can be my right-hand man and be on job sites with me and take notes and go back and update those drawings. And that was when I hired Caitlin. And that, just having, I know you, the control over the creative is something that we're always worried about. But I've always felt like since hiring her, the creative kind of has popped because I get to show her and also see through her perspective. I don't know. It's been fun to say.
We bounce ideas and collaborate.
Yeah. And give me the okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's weird, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to create that safe space for her to be what about this weird thing, And knowing that we'll all just be okay, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
So how did you find her? Did she went to full school for it and stuff?
She actually went to school to be an illustrator at FIT in the city.
She's the one that makes those cute cards and stuff.
Yes, exactly. So she and her dad's an architect. So she was trained on the job training working for him, but knew she loved the design world, the interiors world better. So she's not, I would say, as fast as someone coming out of school that is a beast at CAD, but she brings a level of artistic design that really elevates our presentations, because she'll do hand sketch rendering, just a little on her iPad hand sketch what it's going to look like. And then now we could use chat and turn that into like a real render. But even so, like clients are loving seeing the hand drafted little room idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed me some of them. They're really pretty.
Like the
They're
artistic
cute.
work we do.
Yeah. And she has a eye for color, and that I think comes with that artistic flair that she has. So yeah, it comes all the things.
And it sounds like you guys are helping to boost each other's creativity, which is just like an infectious thing that we keep, like, it exponentially starts to grow once we start snowballing that effort between these creatives. So it's really exciting to hear about it.
Yeah. And that also is happening with the ops manager, Kira, too, because she is now taking the reins and seeing that I'm not set in my ways with how the ops run, right? So if you come to me with a better idea or an idea that is a way of doing things that we can systemize, or because to me, that is harder to get over the line for myself, like to sit down and really think about it. And she'll be like, should we do, why don't we email all of our vendors and see if we can get a better shipping rate? And like some of them have said yes,
Great
and
idea.
I'm like,
yeah,
great, go for it. And
you told me something she brought to you. I think, I don't know, was that High Point or something? Like she was like, should we do this whole process? Like, and she had already like written it all out. And it was something that hadn't occurred to you yet, but I don't remember what it was. So I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, even like she put together a Q1 recap presentation.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. And it was like, wait a second. I wanted to do this. I did the initial presentation, and she sat down, she got Caitlin's feedback, and she presented it to me and to us as the business. And I just remember being like, because we kept kind of moving this Q1 recap meeting down the line. And because I kept thinking, oh shit, I haven't done it. I haven't put anything together for it yet. And she was like, oh no, I did it. And I was like, oh, let's get this meeting on right now. Let's go for it.
Yeah,
you did it. Okay, it's amazing.
I've been pushing this down the pipe for weeks here, thinking I had to do all the work.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Just knowing, oh my gosh, things are happening. I set goals for the business, and I have a team that I love that's helping me make those dreams come true. I don't know. It's not lost
and fill in your gaps probably. Like time is one thing for sure. Like we're all limited on that. But like we also have gaps in our skills, abilities, like where we really shine, and to keep you in the position of your best self and where you're really needed. That's just like so awesome.
Yeah, it's been a game changer. Yes. And yesterday we did this outing. We went to 5 of our job sites as a team. Everyone got in my car and we went to each one of them in various stages of construction to just check in. And Kira had never been to some of these job sites because she's, full op. So, but she's been ordering or talking with the contractors, and she got to meet all of them. And we were talking about this conversation that we're having now. And they said, I hope you can really be proud of how far you've come. And I was like, guys, so sweet. Because when do we ever really truly reflect? But listening to you guys since the beginning, and I'm sure you can look back and feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, I love your story because, you haven't been doing it that long, but I know you've worked really hard. I just feel like you've had very steady growth. Like you didn't take huge, crazy risks that would put you out of your comfort zone, but you made enough smaller risks and choices that have really set you up. Something else I know you've done a lot is gotten a lot of press and had PR support. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like how that works for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So that I'd say is from day one, I think I got the advice that was whatever you love that you've done, even if it was the smallest thing, shoot it in the best way and spend money. So in the beginning, I was doing projects and spending more on photography than I made in the whole project. And it was, is this sustainable? But then it led to the next big project and the next big project. And that was And in that time, just really working with PR, someone that could take a project and put it into the ether and see on a project basis what they can get for us. Also got connected with, and that was great because it would get us out and individual. You didn't have to have a steady.
You're not a retainer with them.
On retainer, yeah. So it was project based, and we did really well with that for a while. And last year around this time, we started working with brand identity PR, and I'm on retainer with them. And I think they've made a huge impact with the type of press that we're getting, with the panels that we're speaking on, with the brand relationships that we've been connecting with, which is going to be really helpful when we move into our next venture, studio space. Which is really fun, but
exciting.
Yes. So that's been really helpful. I think when we look back on the trajectory, spending the money on the photography, working with a stylist right from the get-go, that really elevates our projects, and pushing them out has kind of set us apart from a lot of the designers in our area, or given us a little bit of a help tell our story a little bit more.
Yeah. And yeah, like that elevation, I think, of your brand. You're not, even though you have been working from home for a long time and you don't look like a hobbyist designer by any means, like this is like, we're legit.
Yes. And we did the Hamptons Designer Show House, and I can't put a fine, like that was a huge thing for us. That changed our business a lot, which you don't necessarily always hear with show houses. But
I know.
I think because I was so local to the show house, people that were actually my clients that lived in New York on Long Island, where we're located, were actually going to that show house and seeing. And, there were designers that were from all over the country that I don't know if they could say that, but it was, since we were so local, I think that really helped us.
So people were just like spending the afternoon driving over, and okay, that makes sense. So you definitely got return on the investment, like you got clients.
I got our 3 biggest projects from the show house, like in different ways. So one that had seen it in person, 2 that had seen it in person, and one that had seen it in press when they were out in the Hamptons, just in a booklet. And they just signed on for, actually this week, they signed on for, and that was in 2023. So it's still giving us return on investment.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
Full house, no new builds right in our town.
That's so cool. Well, we don't have a show house locally to Sacramento. It's only holiday time. Like it's a holiday decor house that it just feels too hard to translate, I think.
Not the same, really.
Now.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting mix of like you hit on the geography, and then it also feels like, oh, it's a local designer. So there's a little bit of appeal to that as well. But it's like a good market technique.
I also feel like, is this true that being Long Island specific versus like a New York City designer might hit a little harder too for locals? Would that be true?
For sure. I mean, we've had city projects, but have found that really our bread and butter is we're Long Island. We're Long Island through and through. We have some Westchester, but I don't think we're kind of typical Long Island. So it sets us apart. It's a great community too. Like Long Island interior design community, we're all kind of very different, but I think there's a lot of community there too.
Support.
We're all seeing each other, supporting, like, okay, don't work with this wallpaper installer, or this one is incredible, like sharing resources, putting all the feelers out there.
Yeah, we have that too. And it's like, oh my God, I don't know how I would do it without my close designer friends locally.
Yeah.
Like, we need you got to have a little blacklist going. Like, we need to know, like, designer beware without
I like to be able to just text, be like, hey, is anybody else having this issue? And then it's like, oh, everybody is? Okay, something's going on.
Or like, I'll send out like, okay, this upholsterer is now dead to me. Like, third time's a kill deal. Sorry. So
it's huge.
But we're trusted.
It's huge.
Hey, designers. In our jobs, we wear a lot of hats, but there is a big difference between having ideas and then the reality of actually putting these ideas into practice.
Yeah, totally. That's why when we developed the tools that worked for our businesses, we wanted to share them with other designers so they could grow too.
And since we're all busy, we made sure everything was ready to use to save you time.
And our templates include expertly crafted copy that can get you started when you're trying to write the right words for all your clients.
Yeah, so we didn't write your bio because we can't, but things that are process oriented, we have all that written out for you.
Right. And we wanted to keep everything in a price point that's very accessible to designers of all levels because we really believe that everybody should be able to afford to streamline their business and make it better.
So if you're a first-time visitor, you get 10% off on our shop at shop.hotyoungdesignersclub.com.
I want to go back to what you were saying about PR and now that you've had that representation. You said you've seen a difference in everything. Can you be more specific about how it's driving something or how you're feeling the payoff from that? Because it costs a lot of, I'm not going to ask you what you pay, but it costs money to retain that type of help. And it's usually thousands of dollars of investment for everybody. And there's various degrees of PR. But how do you feel it's like directly created the payoff that you were expecting? Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it has helped me, my mentality and my mindset, helping me feel established in this industry. So whether that is giving me the confidence to be on panels or to put me up for different awards that I never would have thought of, or just giving me the confidence that I am a fixture here. Like I'm not going anywhere. And so it's just one mindset thing, but it has made me feel a little bit more stable and structured. And like they have helped me design a path forward. So it's what I thought I was going to get out of PR was like great press.
Yeah.
But what I'm actually finding is they're helping me almost drive the direction of my career and to see the company as bigger than what I'm capable of seeing it as. And they're saying like they're helping me go to the next level without pulling me down that road, which I think is not something to like that I would have expected from PR. And that just may be because they have a real vested interest and they are wonderful people, but also it really has changed my mindset.
Sounds like it's credibility a lot.
Yeah, and they believe in you in ways that maybe you didn't know you needed, or because they'll pitch you something and you'd be like, oh, I would never have signed up for that.
That's right. Exactly.
Or like, I can't, they don't want me.
But you have to believe them. Like they're not going to put you out for something that you're not going to be good enough for or like be ready for. So you have to kind of believe them, right? Like they see this every day. Like they know their side of the street. Like they want to be successful, which means getting you placed. So they're only going to put you places that you can get placed. So.
And honestly, at the beginning, I was like very nervous about every request that came in and saying like, oh boy, like you think that you think it's going to be okay? And they're like, yes, of course. Like it's going to be great. You're going to do amazing. You're going to be all the things. So it's helped me believe in myself more. And then there's constant press coming in with them. So that's always nice to see. It's either quotes or images, like a lot of things that, they have me writing a bunch of quotes at the beginning of each season and they're just pushing those out to really valued publications. And then we are also having a strategy around all of our upcoming shoots and projects that are on the horizon to photograph.
Like the strategy is important that you would have never been able to feel those out. But we see it playing out I think a big part of this is that there are a lot of designers that we're all observing who do have help from PR. And if you're not seeing it closely or they're not announcing it, it's like, well, that's not normal to just be like, and shout out my PR team.
No,
like,
I mean, if
that's
you're
not
aware,
a lost experience for the client. They
if you know a
know
designer's name, they have a PR team. Like, they just have to.
It's just part of it.
Yeah. And at some point, you want to reach a broader market. Yeah. You want to grow your team or a broader market or establish your credibility so you can be sort of the local designer, that really does help put you there and like makes it easier to stand behind it. And for you, a little bit of is like the philosophical personal work you needed to do. And you didn't even know that was what you were going to get from that experience. So it's a bonus.
It's true.
In addition to all the work they're doing to help get your projects placed where the people who you want to work with in the future are going to see you, and, you know, to help elevate and just like, it does help. It justifies increased fees. It justifies your expertise. Like, I know it sounds weird because a lot of designers feel like it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I hear that. I just know there's also a lot of tangible work that's going into it.
Yeah. And they helped a lot, you know, on the side. We participate in Housing Works Design on a Dime, which is a New York City based charity event for Housing Works. And a bunch of designers get together in this huge building. Everyone has a little vignette and you can really showcase your design style, but everything has to be just donated from all different vendors. And the beauty of it is people off the street can buy a ticket and you come in, the ropes drop, and you can run into these vignettes and shop anything in there, and everything's discounted like 80%.
It's like supermarket
suite. Exactly right. It's supermarket suite for high-end design. Like, we've been working with Gracie the last 2 years to do it, and they have donated wallpaper for us, and we've made beautiful panels. Like, it's insane. It's such a fun experience.
Wait, we'll have to get that link from you so you can share a little bit more with the group for other designers. We'll put it in the show notes. I think that's fantastic.
So did they help you get placed in that, or?
They did. I was in it last year before I started working with them, this year again, but they helped us secure the majority of our donations. Because you need to have a, you know, certain threshold of donations in, and it's not a small number. So in order to have that vignette, and I don't know, it's a good cause, and it's also just so much fun.
And can you share with the hotties what their cause is?
Yeah. So Housing Works is New York City based for homelessness, and they've been around since the AIDS crisis, and they've always helped homelessness and AIDS and trying to create beautiful, I guess, housing for the community. And, you know, definitely not an expert to talk about it, but that's the gist. And it's big, you know, Jeremiah, Brent, and Nate Burkus were on the panel this year talking about it. It was like a beautiful, beautiful event.
So fun.
Yeah. I think it's good to see sort of that, like the correlation almost of like, hey, this group is out here supporting housing for like the LGBT, you know, youth groups or like community healthcare and all of that. And you're like, I have a kind of through line to housing as something important, and I understand the value of the safety and the security it provides to people. And sure, we get to work at the very like the upper end of it in our day-to-day work, but it's really rewarding to see how it helps people even at that like base level, which 100%. Is fantastic.
Yeah. And honestly, Housing Works has an incredible thrift shop also. So they have a booth there, and they bring a bunch of their beautiful stuff. It's so much fun. It's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Definitely participating in and checking out.
We have a group similar to that in my area. It's called Out of the Closet, and they have the thrift stores, and then it's also funded and part of the services of the AIDS healthcare organization. And so they're pretty dominant here in housing and work like that. And I feel like you found like the perfect way to get involved, how it makes sense, and you know, you can show up, and I think that's fantastic. So thanks for sharing
I hope
that.
to do it for many, many moons. Like, there are designers that have been doing it for the last 20 years. And I don't know, that's pretty cool.
Like, it's hard to get in, probably, right?
Yeah, hard to get in, but also like once you're in, it's kind of addicting.
Totally.
I love it.
I want to do it.
Okay.
So have you seen clients come through from PR directly yet?
I'd say the most was from the show house, because PR in that way. I wouldn't say that they're coming in because of press features. I think it's more they're seeing everything in the mix, right? Yeah. They're saying like, okay, this is all part of the mix. And
they look at your website, they get your lead from somewhere. They look at your website, like, oh, okay, she's got it going on. Like, we can trust this person.
I just was on speaking with a potential client in home consultation, and they were like, yeah, we have anytime like something comes up for you, it pings us, you know, and I was like,
a little alert.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. I love that. I need to get that.
They're like proud of you. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did get that.
So it's really funny, but it was like the first time I was like, wow, there are people like watching, you know, and it's really exciting. Really exciting.
Yeah, when you don't realize like who's cheering you on.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Instagram specifically. Like, I feel like I get that feedback, but sometimes you just need it.
It's really nice. I mean, we're about to open a studio in our neighborhood, and just the like starting to tell our clients and the contractors, honestly, the contractors that we work with and our trades, and how excited they are for us and how much they want to like contribute. Just making us feel really special.
So tell us, where are you in that process?
Okay, so when I went to Haven with you, I think I had just signed the lease, which was in May. We've been designing and trying to secure product and all the things, and there's still some construction going on in the space itself.
How exciting.
I think that we just finished the design, and now it's about like getting all the things.
And when do you think everything will be installed and you'll be able to use it?
My team keeps asking the same thing. I keep saying August 1st, and they're like, okay, but what? I don't know. But I think we are working out of there on folding tables and folding chairs right now every Monday.
Cute.
So that's fun.
So the Wi-Fi is in.
We're really, we were on hotspots for a while.
Oh, you were?
Oh my God.
Wi-Fi is in, and we are just looking to hopefully be in by mid-August. Really, realistically, I just signed off on all of the drawings for my cabinet maker. We're going to have these beautiful inset cabinets. The space is really like a long gallery space. It's, you know, only 14 feet wide, but very long. So we're using cabinetry a lot to kind of create zones, and everyone's been so like gracious.
Helping you, yeah. Well, that's also a testament probably to you.
To me and to all the projects that I bring their way, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully calling in some favors a little bit.
Big time.
And hopefully like the other part of it is it's when you're investing like that into the space, you're also saying, I'm not planning on leaving right away because this money gets kind of sunk into this. So like, how long was your lease for it?
It's 5 years.
Yeah. That's what was, I ended up subdividing my space just recently, but it's the same space, and the original lease term was that too. So it's like, now I'm halfway through it. Yeah.
It goes fast.
It feels good.
It goes fast, but it's also scary at first, and you're just like, oh my God, I need that next project. Like,
well,
please.
Exactly. And honestly, I got into that mindset a little bit when I signed the lease, and then I signed on a lot of projects. Like,
the universe, like, we got you. Don't.
Quick. You know, I work a lot with Renee from Tandem, who was a speaker at Haven. And I messaged her and I was like, Renee, this is happening. We have done sessions together to try and prepare for this because I knew it was something that I really, really wanted. And I was like, I think I'm okay. I just have to sign one more client for the year. And she's like, I think you're going to be okay. And then I was getting nervous, and then, you know, then it happened.
You signed 5.
Basically. And then my team was like, okay, we closed the books, right? And I'm like, oh, sure. Yeah, we did. We sure.
No promises.
I just love it. So yeah.
Well, when you find, like, if you meet an exciting client who has like, a vision, like, it's hard to say no.
It is hard to say no.
Something else that I really admire about you is seems like from the beginning invested also in education.
Yeah.
Like you've done a lot of kind of, like we again saw each other at Haven, but you've also done other things like that through your whole business career, correct?
Correct. I have been consistently learning from the start. I felt like the more I can take all that in, the more I can learn, the more I can invest in the education, the more confident I would be, and the better run the business would be. And I think I've done every course and every retreat that's out there. So
the Allisons.
Me, Allison, and Allison, it's not just about learning. Like, it's also really fun, I think, just to get in there and try and refine the process. Or, I mean, going to something like Haven or Design Camp is a no-brainer because it's just, I don't know.
Beautiful experience.
It's beautiful experience. It's not just education. It's connection and community building. And both of those have revolutionized our business, really. And I'd say I did a lot when I was just myself that was too comprehensive for what I was at that time. And now I can go back to it now that I have a team and I can actually re-pull out ideas or reassess it now that I have more people to kind of push things off to.
Build on. Because you're like, I can't do all of that stuff, but it is good for a scaling business. I just wasn't there when I was first learning this.
Yeah, and I would get so overwhelmed. Like, okay, let me check off that Asana task that I sent to myself that I am just, okay, next Asana task for me to do for my billion projects.
Same.
So,
do you have any tips for like implementing? Because I feel like I kind of know, but we've talked about it, that you can go and learn all this stuff and then you get back to work and you're like, when the hell am I going to do this?
Oh, well, I mean, having accountable buddies like we're doing for our Haven workshop, but really just having community hold each other accountable. I mean, my best design buddies, we are on every other week kind of talking through our goals, like, and how we want to implement, and just
do you have a standing meeting with them?
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. Often why I can't join the Hottie Hangouts. It's at the same time when I want to.
You just get the recordings later.
I do. I listen to all those recordings and I'm like, ooh, good note. Let me write that down.
Wish I could have piped in.
Yes. Yes.
Well, yeah, because we talk about this a lot. Obviously, we rely on each other, Shaun and I, and other friends that I have. And it's also, yes, support, get help, ask questions, but I think it's also really helpful for other people to intimately know your business.
Yep.
So like they've seen, like Shaun's seen my business grow and I get stuck or in my head, like he can unshake me a little bit and push and nag in a way that I might need at the time.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
1000%.
Like with your like with some of your press recently, I've just been like, I'm not gonna let you forget this, and I'm gonna not go away.
On it.
Like, I'm like, don't forget. Like,
well, yeah, because it's the same.
True.
Of like, I don't think I can. That I'm not ready for that. But like, if other people are saying it, then I probably should.
It's so nice to have someone that knows your business intimately when you don't have a team, or even like I run into an issue with a client that I don't necessarily want to, bring to the team and or, that they can just, or if I'm having a personnel issue or whatever it is, just having that person there that is your confidant. And like I have, Allison and Allison, and they really, they're also cheerleaders. So I need to like bulldoze over things. So like if I get a press feature, it's hard for me to even read it, let alone like to sit and absorb that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. like for me to even read it is hard. I don't know. So when I have these wonderful ladies that are like, can you take a minute and like, you have been wanting to be in Rue for, so long, and look at it. It's right here. Like, stop for a moment.
Look at
it. helps. Yeah. It helps, right? It's like, oh my gosh. It's hard to do it for yourself.
It is. Yeah. And so one thing you kind of mentioned we did after Haven is we were aware of like, okay, we're going to get back. We're going to leave this magical bubble. And life is going to start happening again. So we set 4 calls, I think, every 6 weeks. We like set goals in the beginning, and then we're meeting to just kind of check in. And knowing that I have that call with you guys next week, like, okay, I got to make some progress. Shit.
Same.
Yeah, you want to have something to report. Yeah.
But also for me, like I do want it to happen. So if I let it fly by.
1,000%.
Well,
honestly, that's what's been great also about having a team. Like, I don't want to come to my Monday calls without telling them that the cabinets have been paid for and ready to go into our studio. Like, they're keeping me accountable too. So it helps. But same thing, Rebecca. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know I've been doing things these last 6 weeks, but what
have I?
What were they? Have I?
It's not on that list.
What were they? Yeah,
exactly.
I have those weeks too. I'm like, I worked all day, but what happened?
Especially like on the business. Like, I got to get back to my website. Like, I have to finish that. And it's just on me.
1,000%. Yep. Oh,
I know.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Back.
I do want to ask you, I know that one of the things Rebecca was talking to me about that I don't know much about. So this may be off the topic, but Rebecca, you said there was something about Danielle's procurement process or something that jumped out at you.
Oh.
And like her ordering.
The one thing that I think we maybe spoke about when we were at Haven is kind of how I have organized like my procurement and how I've like narrowed in on vendors to try and get it's been part of my process to go deep with certain vendors and then sprinkle the magic on top of the one-offs or the handmade or the unique, but really invest in our core vendors. But let's say that was it.
I don't remember a process specifically. But yeah, so you have like your core upholstery vendors or case goods and you focus on them so you can keep getting the better and better pricing. I think, I try to do that too. And it's hard to break out of them though. Like lately I've had some client projects. I'm like, oh, okay, none of these are going to work. I need to like start looking. And that is why like going to High Point and Market. But
I know I'm excited for that. It is. It's like when you get comfortable with, but now
system.
I think, and just listening to your last episode about, or one of your last episodes about custom and diving into custom and, we dabble with it and we've been doing more and that has been an exciting kind of adventure for us. And to see what that brings for us, I think is going to be our next level up.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, because it's a lot more work than just pressing buy, purchase, like add to cart, purchase. There's a lot more to it, but you get a lot more out of it. Like it's definitely worth it. And your products will totally change.
Yeah, and start with like the pieces that maybe not the fully custom sofa but maybe it's a custom headboard or things that are a little bit less comfort.
Intense?
Yeah, intense. Okay, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, I can royally F up this sofa not knowing what I don't know about upholstery. Like,
and not knowing your vendor. Right. So like
if my vendor won't save me.
Start with reupholstering, dining chairs. Like start getting to know a vendor and have a relationship before you also like, okay, I'm trusting that you're going to guide me through this and it's not going to look terrible at the end.
Oh my God.
No, I feel excited about that.
We were talking about that for the Hotties on episode 147, which was Let's Clap for Custom. So we talked more about that. And that was, it just like keeps coming up as like, okay, well, we can't compete against some of this other. You're never going to. And
AI
also
can't do custom.
Do I want to be fighting that uphill battle? Like, it's kind of one of those things like, so I'm just going to fight the internet. Like, that's not going to be healthy for anybody.
Too big for me to tackle. And I'll tackle as much as I can, but the internet is not one I'll take on. But also it's like, it's changing my creativity, like upping the creative juices. And the more I get comfortable with it, the more I'm just like, oh, yeah, we could just do that. And I think I've been good with that with stone. So we have an incredible fabricator that has made us custom tables or consoles or coffee tables and really weird, interesting things for our show house. And diving into that more felt really doable. And then the custom upholstery, now that I have that kind of And now it's like, okay, what's the next one? What's the next one we're going to tackle? That's exciting.
Curious, with the custom stone furniture pieces, are you bringing in 2 different people to do that? Like, is there a wood carpentry component?
It depends. So the ones that half and half. So one, we use stone bases on either the coffee table, or we did like a little pedestal table with a stone base that was faceted and really pretty. And then for the show house, we did, my cabinet maker actually made me some really beautiful legs for the table, and they were the base. He got them to the fabricator. The fabricators put everything together and then was delivered on site.
Yeah, because that's where I find the complications add up when you start having to have people that don't work together, and you're like, I don't know how to make this work. Who's going to get it to where?
Like somebody please get this across the finish line for me. Tell me what I need to do. Like, I'll help you.
So true. Our upholsterer has that built in.
Nice.
Yeah, he has like someone that he works with that builds the frames, and then he upholsters. So I haven't actually even met the one who does the frames, just the upholsterer. And
that's awesome.
Fantastic. It's like the perfect thing you could ever want.
Yeah. Please more of that.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like you might have hit some of your big goals, like with getting the studio. Sounds like it's one you've been thinking about for a long time, and getting some really great press placements. Like, have you thought more about what you want next? Like, is that, and I know you, true. Like, I know we're like going to have to stretch to the next thing. Can you share anything you've been thinking about?
Sure. So I think what you're kind of touching on is like, when I started this business, like I never thought I would be here. And actually, this is like the second time. So when I first started, I didn't think I would get to having employees, or I just thought I'd be myself, kind of doing my own thing. And then I worked with Renee, and we pushed forward, and we figured out what our next tier of goals are. And that's right where I am now. It's like I have my employees and I have my studio, and we're figuring out what that's going to look like. And now, thinking about the future, I kind of have to book another session with her so that we can push forward. But I think what it is my dream is to have a small studio, 2 little design pods. So we have our ops side, 2 senior designers, 2 junior designers, and just to be able to be immersed in our community, to have events in our space, to bring people into us and let them experience our brand and all the things that we love here. I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Is next step is having a team that is together, that we can push forward, and to bring people into our mix.
Yeah. So grow the team and then bring people physically together. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know what the next bigger projects or anything like that. It's not really, that's not it. It's the community-based part that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and probably getting out of your house.
Yeah, big time. That's big time. I'm like, the amount, I mean, you guys know, I'm a sample collector. We'll call it sample.
Hoarder? Did you want to say hoarder?
Is the correct.
That's a weird way to say it. Yeah.
Sample
what a weird
collector.
way to pronounce hoarder.
Yeah.
Enthusiast.
I'm a sample enthusiast hoarder. Yeah. And our projects start with the samples. Like that's how it starts for me, is creating the mix and
like touching and feeling.
Yes, exactly. And that is hard to do, bringing people into your home, having this stuff. I'm looking at my current studio around me, and it's still filled to the rim, and I brought 90% of it over already. So having that out of the house and giving my family back the kitchen, that, there's rolling racks in the kitchen currently of rugs. So just having the team and being able to lay out samples on our big old table that we have coming from Forehand, shout out. And
they're helpful.
They're helpful. All the things like that. So yes, big time.
Yeah, it's such a game changer. Like when I was able to actually design work with stuff, it seems like no duh. Like, how did you even do it before? But like when I was working at home, I didn't have a library really. So I think this will work when we order a sample, but I'd be, designing on my computer for the most part, hoping that the
1000%.
samples would match what was in my head.
Yeah, I'd say as with the team in place and now with the studio, I think we're going to be reworking our process quite a bit to build those nuggets in and to protect the creative time on the front end with Caitlin and I laying all the samples out, creating the direction for the project. Like I see it happen. We just did it. And we were just everything was just on the floor of this big old studio. We're just like laying it out and saying like, oh my gosh, we just designed a full house in a very short amount of time. Like we may need to go to flat fee after the studio. Who knows? So.
Oh yeah.
Exciting.
I have been doing all my market research.
Yeah.
I'm continuing to adjust the model around it because it's like, my better decisions are starting to come when I move faster. Mm-hmm. And it usually is like I'm letting my gut take over that creative side a little bit more if I do that. So it's like, well, then it took me a long time to get my gut to do that for me so fast.
I know. It's so true.
It took me years to get there. So I don't want to just like, here, you can have it for 15 minutes when I, have spent so long trying to get better at that.
Are you guys, you're hourly or flat fee at this point?
I'm hourly.
I'm mostly flat fee.
Yeah, I was flat fee before I had the team, and not understanding how fast things got done. Like it feels a little bit
too fast.
It felt a little, didn't know. It felt too scary to go. It had to be hourly.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you know, kind of, you have data that you can decide what makes most sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Do you think that you want to do more work outside of your area? Like, is that something have you done really?
I've done in the like tri-state areas, but not across the country, only on a virtual scale. Like, here's the design plan, go forth, but not in the project management side. I'd say, I don't know. I love being on site and I love kind of being in the trenches. Most of our business surrounds construction. So we are doing full home gut remodels. Like we live in an area, like my local community and like say like the stretch from the North Shore to the South Shore of Long Island where I live. Okay. It's all like Tudors and colonials, like older homes that need a full gut to bring to modern times. And it's kind of like been a sweet spot for us.
Yeah, there's tons of work to stay local with.
Yeah. And we had a project in the city last year, and the amount of time it took to get, it's not even far. It's just the trekking of the samples and the driving and the parking. Like it's good. It's just, I have to build that in. So
it's more complicated. Yeah.
More complicated. I like my hood.
Yeah, being able to load your car up and just drive and park.
Yeah. And now having a studio, I want people to be able to come to us. Like that's the point.
That is like, that's also, such a game changer of like, I have to schlep this stuff everywhere. I mean, sometimes I still do when it makes sense for the client, but
sure.
That's really the initial.
Sell that dream.
Yeah, and it's exciting for them too. Like they probably feel like they're on a little field trip and they're paying for an experience too. So I think, that's going to be so fun for you.
The client fun aspect of it doesn't get talked about enough.
Like how it's
that's
fun
what
for
you
them.
Guys are really talking about. Yeah, is like you're getting to create the fun in your own space, which is a little bit of it. But then it's really who you're doing it for is like, I want them to feel this. Now that I've done all of that work, like it's also for them to feel that same sense of like joy and excitement, the dopamine of it all. Is that what they're looking for? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a huge part of it. When we pull up, I mean, we try and do that even when we're schlepping like, trays like to the top of our head and we're coming in, we're laying everything out and we're still trying to create that magic. But having someone come into this space that is a reflection of us and be able to have everything laid out, that's just something that I've dreamt of and have not had experienced yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so fun for you.
You're going to,
like the clients are going to be so excited.
I'm excited for them. I think they have been like, I've had really good luck with clients for the most part. And they've been my advocates and they're just following along and they're part of the journey, which has been lovely.
You're like selling the dream. I know it's not always like that though. Like just be.
Oh no.
No, you work your ass off. Like you work a lot.
It goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
Like
1000%. And I mean, we've had tough clients where we've had to then go back and change our contract and change our pricing model and every client, there's all the push and pull. But I think what has happened this year, and I don't know if it's about having, people behind me or going to the conferences, I think coming out of it, my number one thing I took away was like boundaries, which I've always had a tough time with. And really like one of the best pieces of advice I got there was, and this was like sitting at a bar after with Rebecca also. And just one of the best pieces of advice was you're never going to feel like you've made it unless you put in the rules and regulations that allow you to feel like you've made it. So if I want to have a break, no one's giving me that break. I have to make it happen. Or if I want to not work every day from after my son goes to sleep, I have to be the one that makes it happen. And I have to create the boundaries for myself. And then seeing how those boundaries affect my team. And when I let a boundary go with a client, it affects them. And if I'm, if they don't want to go through trade and they want to buy something that's from retail, like that affects us.
Yeah.
It's not just me anymore. Like these decisions or me not holding a boundary affects the team.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful.
I mean, it's kind of like having children. Not that I'm not infantilizing them, but like you feel responsible for your family in a way that you don't fuck around anymore. So I could see that's a lot of it coming in.
Yeah. Someone that's like to the core a people pleaser, when I have a team looking at me that I want to protect, it gives me the need to stand in that space. And I think that's been huge. It's been like a big change for me.
Yeah. And probably, I think the more you do it, the easier it is. And like this person was fine with it. So this client is going to need to get with it or move on.
Yeah, like I don't need to renegotiate my process and rebuild it for this one person.
And we know that. And when you're doing it and you have that gross feeling.
Like,
but when it's just you, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just work a little bit harder and make this go away.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Then if your team's looking at you like, bitch, we needed you to do something else. Like, why are you doing that?
Like, don't do this to us, please. Like, we don't, this is never going to work. You're trying to like, it's that whole
because you being distracted does hurt them. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And it just gives me the motivation to build the boundaries in and to know that if I want to feel a pressure release or if I want to feel like I've truly made it, then what does that look like? And build that in.
And some of it is like more free time with family and being able to not feel guilty when you're in one place or another. Like,
exactly.
You know where you're supposed to be, and this is my time to be here.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Getting out of your house will be a huge, that's just like having that physical boundary makes it all so much easier. Like we can do tricks where laptop staying in the studio today. Like, it's not coming home. So we can't do anything.
I'm not actually going to do work when I go home. So don't just leave it there. It's going to be fine. Yeah.
It's so true. And now that I've been playing with the studio and trying to design that's been mostly after hours, but it just touches on that yummy part of my design brain. And I love doing it later in the evening when I'm not distracted, but I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
That's not,
I
like using that time for creative endeavors or when I don't have to work because I've taken on too much.
Right. Like something strikes you, you want to be able to do it. But yeah. And like you're building a dream when you're designing for yourself in your own space. Like that's totally different.
Yes, it's true.
Well, I'm very excited for you. It's been so fun to watch you from afar and now a little closer. And yeah, I feel like everything you've done it's something we can all do. And like, we just have to be brave and try things and invest. Like really, like I just feel this theme of investment with you that you've been really consistent with. That's paid off.
I think that's true. I think I always taken, I think they're calculated risks, but like enough of a risk that I'm like, okay, well, if I have to, I'm going to try it. And I think it's going to work out. And I used to say, like, I'm happy to bet on myself. And it was harder to bet on the next thing when it was outside of like my tangible self. Yeah. But each time has paid off. And I think, I even talk about this in therapy, like the more you like have those moments where you're like, oh, I did that and it paid off. Oh, I did that and it paid off. Like you start to trust it. And then you say, okay, I'm trusting my gut here and I think it's going to work.
Yeah. Amazing.
Invest. And I think it's the way.
Yeah. Cause they started out small and they're just kind of growing with you and it's really smart. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because being scared and hoarding, like it's just you put yourself in this state of lack and withholding that I don't think you get rewarded for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love, everyone jokes that like I love to spend the money. I love to invest. I love to take the big, like I love to go to the conferences and I love to spend money on photography and I want to have someone there doing the styling and I want to like I just like it and throw money at the problem. I know where my inefficiencies or like my lacking is, and I am totally comfortable with paying someone to do it.
Yeah, and they make it all better too. Like they're improving.
I'm not changing the oil on my car either. Like
right.
I don't have the skill for that. I could. I don't want to. My time my time is better spent elsewhere, or I just don't want to. So our businesses can be the same.
Yeah, agreed.
That's really hard for me, but I love that.
Danielle, you've been amazing sharing so much with us about this. Like, you're just like, there's just nonstop growth and building. And I know that it is hard at times. And you've just been really open with us when we've met you in person. But also I think here in this episode, the hotties can hear that there is a lot of work, but the risks can pay off. And I think there's a lot of excitement to build around that. So
thank you.
If the hotties want to stay caught up with you, where should they find you?
Find me on Instagram, Danielle Rose Design Co. @ Danielle Rose Design Co. Easy, and come say hi. And this has just been a dream come true. I love you guys. I've been following you guys for so long, and just being able to meet you first and be on the podcast. This is seriously a pinch me moment. And I don't know if I said it earlier, but driving around my team yesterday, they were just like beaming, they're proud of me, and I was able to be proud of myself. So
you should be proud of yourself. We're going to give you a big hug. Are we going to see you in High Point this fall?
Yes,
are you be
yes. And I think they're coming with me. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh my God, that's going to be fantastic. We can't wait for it.
Yeah, same here. Big love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh, you're going to have too many people. We're not going to be able to share a cab like we did last time to the airport.
I know. No,
we're going to need a party bus.
We basically had a party bus, I'd say.
We did.
So we'll be able to do it.
This has been great. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much.
And until next time,
stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.